Hello, class. I'm Mason Graves. I did my crisis management research paper on Chipotle with a side of E. coli. So let's hop right in. First, let's just identify the crisis. The crisis itself started on November 1st of 2015. Chipotle, it was confirmed by the CDC that Chipotle had E. coli coming from somewhere up in the northwest part of the United States. E. coli is a bacteria that lives in people and animals' small intestines. Uh, it comes from undercooked meat, unsanitary produce, or contaminated water. A lot of the times, this comes from human and animal feces, just not washing food good enough or cooking it up to temperature. So, 55 people were infected with E. coli in Chipotle within the first 2 weeks of that. So, from November 1st to the 14th, there was 55 people infected just in the northwest areas. The CDC confirmed that it was from unwashed produce. However, other companies like the FDA were claiming that it was from tainted meat that was undercooked. They had a new Australian distributor for beef. It was a few months into them just starting out with that company, so people think that the meat was tainted and they weren't cooking it good enough. So, a few early warning signs of the impending crisis happened when on October 23rd of 2015, just a week before the first official case, there was a man named Chris Collins. He was 32-year-old web developer, pretty healthy guy. Went to Chipotle for a healthier choice of fast food on his way home. He was a regular there. He said he went uh, 2 times a week, 4 to 5, 6 times a month. He gets the same thing for the most part, just a Chipotle burrito or a bowl. The main ingredients in there were the beef, lettuce, cilantro, and spinach in his bowls. Those are all the things that can be contaminated with E. coli. So, uh, Collins was suffering from unusual symptoms after eating a burrito in just outside of Lake Oswego, Oregon. He then had a lot of bloating, cramping, and diarrhea during the process. He went into the doctor, and it was eventually confirmed that it was food poisoning. And they said it had to have come from one of the 21 ingredients that he ingested that night because that was the only thing he had within the last few days. So that was the first signs for Chipotle. Those were their early warning signs. He ended up filing a lawsuit on the company on Halloween, just the day before they announced that they had E. coli. So they were pretty quick to jump on it. You can see where there was the high number of cases of infected consumers from E. coli, a lot up in the Northwest. It originated in Oregon, like I said, spread through Seattle because the distributors go up through that way. So 43 stores were shut down at the beginning, right when it happened, November 1st. They shut down 43 stores. That's every one of them in Oregon, Washington, and most of them in Northern California. This was the beginning of their crisis management plan. So they attacked it with a three-step system and tried to put a positive spin on the entire thing. And their main thing was having a food safety plan, their comprehensive food safety plan, as they call it, and trying to be the industry leader in food safety. This is just days after having E. coli break out inside of their food. Um, so a few ways they did it. The three-step plan that they went into, the first main step that Steve Ells, the CEO and spokesman of Chipotle, did was apologize. He immediately got on to the Today Show November 3rd, just 2 days after his Chipotle was found to have E. coli. He immediately apologized. He took the blame for everything as a company. He apologized to the consumers, let them know what's happening, the company's future, and where they were going from there. He also made sure to let them know about their comprehensive food safety plan, which again, in this letter that he wrote, he expressed his apologies out to the public. The second step was their commitment to food safety. So with their commitment to food safety, they made sure that everything was clean better, more sanitized. Like I said, they shut down those stores right away. When they shut down the 43 stores, They made sure to sanitize every single one of them, get rid of all the old products, replacing it with new ones right away. This was all done within their three-step plan to make sure that everything was sanitized and clean. The third step that they went into was their rewards program. So not only did they lose 60% of their regular consumers there, by regular consumers, they defined it as eating at a Chipotle between 2 and 4 times a month. So they lost over 60% of their regular consumers. To gain them back, they started a rewards program. They offered a free burrito for once you signed up as a member with your first purchase. You can see on the side here a few different things they have in their rewards program and how to gain. They were trying to gain these people back from what they've lost. They've been slowly doing this over time. So one thing I think that they could have done different, uh, they needed to take into account that there are real people that are infected. They went out and they did a good job at apologizing, but Chris Collins saw that on the store that he went to, the sign said BRB. The other stores in town had messages that were, "Don't worry, we'll restore the universe quickly. Chipotle will be back on its feet soon." They have to do this. They could have done it in a more positive way. They need to issue a press release saying, "Hey, this is exactly what's happening. We're figuring it out." You can't take it as a joke at all at that point. People, I mean, E. coli can kill people, so you want to make sure that the safety of people is a concern to you and a priority. And just being in the customer's shoes, just knowing that you want these people to come back, so you have to win them over now while you're in the heat of the crisis. As far as the response, people still love Chipotle. I mean, this happened 5 years ago. I, as a consumer, will still continue to go to Chipotle. It's one of the healthier fast food choices. You see that they don't have on their commercials, they don't do microwaves or anything like that. You can see them cooking the food in front of you. They now have their new initiatives on how to clean everything up. You can go on their website and actually see that they where their meat comes from, where their plants come from, the farms they come from, the people that they're doing business with. They're a lot more open and transparent with their company now after this. They don't want a repeating crisis like this to happen. And I think people will always love Chipotle. The stock prices tanked immediately after the crisis, but everything's starting to level out now. Things are on the up and up, and the company seems to be succeeding and looking forward to the future. Thank you.